America, a land of dreams, yet a shadow lurks. Cities, once vibrant hubs, now grapple with a rising tide of crime. This essay explores one such city, a place where danger has cast a long shadow. We will delve into the heart of this crisis. Our journey will take us through the lives of residents, the efforts of authorities, and the potential solutions that offer a glimmer of hope. Join us as we venture into the heart of urban danger, our destination, the most dangerous city in America. The city we speak of is not a nameless entity. It is real. It is St. Louis, Missouri, a city steeped in history, now marred by a grim reality. St. Louis has earned the unsettling title of America's most dangerous city. This is not hyperbole. It is a reflection of stark statistics. The numbers tell a tale of violence, of fear, of a city grappling with a crisis. But behind these numbers lie people, individuals, families, communities, all touched by the specter of crime. Their stories are the human face of these statistics. While the situation in St. Louis is dire, it is not without hope. Efforts are underway to combat crime, to address its root causes, and to rebuild communities. From law enforcement to social programs, a multifaceted approach is crucial. We will analyze their effectiveness, their shortcomings, and the potential they hold for lasting change. For amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope persists. The fight for a safer St. Louis is ongoing. It is a fight that demands attention, action, and a commitment to change. St. Louis is a city under siege, a siege mounted not by armies with battering rams but by an insidious enemy crime. The statistics paint a grim picture, a tapestry woven with threads of violence, theft, and fear. This is not a city at peace, it is a city at war with itself. In 2022, the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program revealed a chilling truth. St. Louis, with a population just shy of 300,000, recorded a staggering 200 murders. That translates to a murder rate of roughly 65 per 100,000 residents, a figure that dwarfs the national average. This is not an anomaly, it is a trend. Aggravated assaults, robberies, and other violent crimes plague the city's streets. Residents now navigate a landscape punctuated by fear. The language of violence is a brutal one, spoken in the sharp crack of gunfire, the thud of a body hitting pavement, the screams of the innocent. It is a language that St. Louis knows all too well. Carjackings, once a rarity, have become almost commonplace. Residents fear stopping at red lights, filling their gas tanks, even walking to their cars. Property crime, too, runs rampant. Homes are burglarized, businesses vandalized, cars stolen. Residents live with a knot of anxiety in their stomachs, wondering if today will be the day their luck runs out. Numbers tell a story, but they can't capture the full weight of human suffering. Behind each statistic, behind each incident report, lies a human story. A story of loss, of trauma, of lives forever altered. Imagine a child, too young to understand the complexities of crime, cowering in fear as gunshots ring out outside their window. Imagine a mother, working 2 jobs to make ends meet, only to have her car stolen, her lifeline to work, and family severed. These are the stories that don't make the headlines, the stories that illustrate the true cost of crime. In the ecosystem of crime, there are predators and there are prey. In St. Louis, the lines between the two are often blurred. Young people, often from disadvantaged backgrounds, are lured into a life of crime, seduced by the promise of quick money and power. They become both perpetrators and victims, trapped in a cycle of violence that seems impossible to escape. They are the products of a system that has failed them, a system that offers little in the way of opportunity or hope. But amidst the darkness, there are glimmers of hope. Community leaders, activists, and everyday citizens are working tirelessly to break the cycle of violence. To understand the violence plaguing St. Louis, we must venture beyond the crime scene tape. We must delve into the very fabric of the city, into the neighborhoods where despair has taken root and opportunity seems a distant dream. Poverty casts a long shadow over St. Louis. Generations trapped in a cycle of economic hardship, their lives circumscribed by circumstances beyond their control. The numbers tell a stark story. Nearly 1 in 4 residents live below the poverty line, their dreams stifled by a lack of resources, support, and hope. In these neighborhoods, survival becomes the primary objective. Basic needs like food, shelter, and safety are not guaranteed. The pursuit of the American dream, so often touted, becomes a cruel illusion, replaced by a struggle for basic dignity. Education, often hailed as the great equalizer, has become another casualty in St. Louis's struggle. Schools, once beacons of hope, now mirror the inequalities that plague the city. Underfunded and overcrowded, they struggle to provide students with the quality education they deserve. For many children in St. Louis, the promise of education rings hollow. They navigate dilapidated classrooms, grapple with outdated textbooks, and contend with a lack of essential resources. The cycle of poverty becomes intertwined with educational inequity, trapping them in a system that seems designed to fail them. High dropout rates, low literacy levels, and limited opportunities for higher education become the norm. Without the tools to succeed, many young people find themselves adrift, vulnerable to the allure of crime in the streets. Unemployment casts a long shadow over St. Louis, further fueling the cycle of poverty and crime. The loss of manufacturing jobs, once the backbone of the city's economy, has left a void that has proven difficult to fill. Those who can leave, seeking better opportunities elsewhere, often do, leaving behind a shrinking tax base and a community struggling to cope. For those who remain, finding work, especially well-paying, stable work, can feel like an insurmountable challenge. The lack of job opportunities creates a sense of hopelessness, a belief that the system is rigged against them. This despair can manifest in destructive ways, pushing individuals towards crime as a means of survival or a way to reclaim a sense of agency. The city's economic struggles are not merely a matter of statistics, they are a human tragedy. St. Louis, like many American cities, is a city divided. Sharp lines of segregation, both racial and economic, cut through the urban fabric, creating pockets of affluence and despair. This spatial inequality is not accidental. It is the product of decades of discriminatory policies and practices that have systematically disadvantaged communities of color. The legacy of segregation is evident in the city's stark disparities in housing, education, and healthcare. Predominantly black neighborhoods often bear the brunt of disinvestment, characterized by dilapidated housing, under-resourced schools, and limited access to healthcare facilities. This concentration of poverty and disadvantage creates a fertile ground for crime to flourish. The spatial concentration of poverty also fosters a sense of isolation and hopelessness. Residents of disadvantaged neighborhoods often feel cut off from the opportunities and resources available in more affluent areas. The intersection of poverty, lack of education, and limited job opportunities creates a perfect storm for crime to thrive. Young people growing up in neighborhoods ravaged by these systemic issues often see few viable pathways to a better life. Crime, with its promise of quick money and a sense of belonging, can seem like the only option. The cycle then perpetuates. Young people, caught in the criminal justice system, often find it difficult to escape its grasp. Statistics are stark, numbers are cold. To truly grasp the human toll of St. Louis's crime epidemic, we must listen to the voices of those who live it, breathe it, survive it every day. Their stories, raw and unfiltered, carry the weight of lived experience, revealing the human face behind the headlines. Meet Sarah, a single mother residing in North St. Louis. Her voice, normally vibrant, takes on a weary tone as she describes her reality. "I work 2 jobs to keep a roof over our heads," she confides, but the constant fear, it never leaves. Every siren, every screech of tires sends shivers down my spine. Her story is not unique. It echoes through the streets of St. Louis, a chorus of fear and resignation. a city once renowned for its gateway arch, now burdened by the invisible walls of fear that confine its residents. I just want my children to grow up safe, Sarah continues, her voice cracking. Her plea, simple yet profound, hangs heavy in the air. It's a plea for a return to normalcy, a yearning for a life where the sound of laughter doesn't compete with the echo of gunshots. She recounts the day her son, barely a teenager, witnessed a shooting on their street. The trauma, etched in his young eyes, haunts her still. He doesn't sleep well anymore, she whispers. The fear, it's taken root in him. Sarah's plea is not for herself, but for her children, for their right to a childhood free from the grip of fear. The fight against crime in St. Louis is not fought solely by those directly impacted. Behind the badge, behind the uniforms, are men and women who confront the city's darkness every day. They too have stories to tell, stories of courage, compassion, and the ever-present burden of their duty. Officer Johnson, a veteran of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, speaks with a weariness born of years spent on the front lines. We see the worst of humanity, he admits. The violence, the despair, it takes a toll. Yet, amidst the darkness, he finds glimmers of hope. There are good people here, he affirms, people working to make a difference. The fight for St. Louis's soul is also waged in its classrooms. Teachers like Miss Williams, who dedicate their lives to shaping young minds, witness firsthand the impact of crime and poverty on their students. They come to school carrying so much weight, Miss Williams laments, her voice filled with empathy. The trauma, the instability, it affects their ability to learn, to thrive. She speaks of students who have lost parents to violence, of children who go to bed hungry, of teenagers lured into the streets by the promise of belonging and escape. Yet, she persists, driven by the belief that education can be a lifeline, a path to a brighter future. She remains a beacon of hope in a city struggling to find its way. The stories of Sarah, Officer Johnson, Miss Williams, and countless others paint a poignant portrait of a city grappling with complex challenges. They remind us that behind the statistics, behind the headlines, are real people, real lives forever altered by the specter of crime. Their stories highlight the urgent need for change, for solutions that address not just the symptoms of crime, but its root causes. They challenge us to look beyond the walls we build, both physical and societal, and to recognize the shared humanity that binds us. The fight for St. Louis is a fight for the soul of a city, a fight for the future of its children, a fight for the very essence of what it means to be a community. It's a fight that demands our attention, our empathy, and our unwavering commitment to action. Together, we can break down these walls and build a brighter future. St. Louis stands as a stark symbol of urban danger in America, but it is not alone. Cities grapple with similar challenges, their streets echoing with sirens, their residents united by unease. The plague of violence has spread far and wide, leaving fear and uncertainty. From New York City to Los Angeles, from Baltimore to Miami, the story remains eerily similar. Examining other cities reveals a chilling pattern. The echoes of disadvantage, like a haunting refrain, reverberate through the streets of high-crime areas. Poverty, unemployment, lack of education, these socioeconomic factors weave a tangled web, ensnaring communities in a cycle of despair. Detroit, a city forever linked to the decline of American manufacturing, bears the scars of economic hardship. Its neighborhoods, hollowed out by job losses and disinvestment, struggle to break free from the grip of poverty and crime. The story is mirrored in cities like Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Chicago, where the concentration of poverty and its attendant ills fuel the cycle of violence. The correlation is undeniable. Where poverty thrives, crime often follows. Section 3. Beyond the Mississippi. The Mississippi River, a symbol of America's heartland, also serves as a dividing line. West of the river, cities like Memphis, New Orleans, and Albuquerque face unique challenges. Socioeconomic factors mirror those of the East, but crime varies by region. In Memphis, the blues often masks a darker reality. Gang violence, fueled by poverty and the drug trade, casts a long shadow. New Orleans, vibrant yet troubled, grapples with high violent crime rates. Urban crime transcends geographical boundaries, demanding nuanced understanding. Section 4. The common thread. Despite their differences, a common thread binds these cities together, a desperate need for change. Residents, united by fear, yearn for safety and security. Stories from St. Louis find echoes in Baltimore and Chicago, a nation grappling with a crisis, searching for answers. The fight against urban crime demands our attention and commitment. Section 1. A city fighting back. St. Louis is not surrendering to despair. A spirit of resilience burns bright in the hearts of many. City officials, community leaders, and residents are joining forces. The fight is uphill, but the commitment to change remains unwavering. St. Louis is investing in initiatives aimed at addressing the root causes of crime. The focus is shifting towards prevention and intervention. The most visible arm of St. Louis's fight against crime is undoubtedly its police force. Tasked with maintaining order in a city grappling with high levels of violence, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department is on the front lines, confronting danger daily. While their role is critical, it's not without its complexities and controversies. St. Louis, like many American cities, is grappling with the challenge of balancing proactive policing with community trust. The city has implemented various strategies, including hotspot policing, where officers focus on high-crime areas, and community policing, which emphasizes building relationships between officers and residents. However, these efforts are often met with skepticism and resistance, particularly in marginalized communities that have long felt over-policed and underprotected. The challenge for St. Louis is to bridge this divide, to foster trust and collaboration between law enforcement and the communities they serve, to ensure that safety and justice are not mutually exclusive. Recognizing that law enforcement alone cannot solve the complex issue of crime, St. Louis is investing in a range of social programs and community initiatives. These efforts aim to address the root causes of violence by providing opportunities and support to those most vulnerable to becoming entangled in the criminal justice system. Job training programs are equipping residents with the skills needed to compete in today's economy, offering a pathway out of poverty. After-school programs provide safe havens for youth, keeping them engaged in positive activities and away from the lure of the streets. Mental health services are being expanded, recognizing the impact of trauma and violence on individuals and communities. These programs, often run by dedicated individuals and community organizations, are making a tangible difference in the lives of St. Louis residents. By investing in prevention and intervention, the city is demonstrating its commitment to breaking the cycle of crime and building a brighter future for all. Section 4. Seeds of Change. The fight for St. Louis is far from over, but amidst the challenges, seeds of change are being sown. Community gardens are transforming vacant lots into spaces of hope and renewal. Art programs provide creative outlets for youth, offering a sense of purpose. Grassroots efforts are revitalizing neighborhoods and fostering community. They are a testament to the indomitable spirit of St. Louis. The path ahead will be long, but the commitment to change is palpable. Section 1. No easy answers. There are no easy answers to the complex challenges facing St. Louis, no quick fixes that will magically erase decades of systemic inequality and violence. The path forward demands a sustained commitment to change, a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, and a recognition that solutions must be as multifaceted as the problems themselves. Law enforcement, while essential, cannot be the sole answer. Investing in social programs, tackling poverty, improving educational opportunities, and fostering economic development are all critical components of a comprehensive strategy to reduce crime and build safer communities. The solutions lie not in simplistic narratives or quick fixes, but in a nuanced understanding of the interconnected factors that contribute to crime. It's about recognizing that true safety and justice are inextricably linked to social and economic equity. A shared responsibility. The fight for St. Louis is not just for law enforcement or city officials, it's a shared responsibility. Businesses must invest in marginalized communities, creating jobs and opportunities. Educators must equip students to succeed, breaking the cycle of poverty. Every resident must be an agent of change, challenging injustice and supporting neighbors. The fight for St. Louis is for the soul of the city and its future. Section 3, Towards a Safer Tomorrow. The journey towards a safer St. Louis will be long and arduous. There will be setbacks and frustrations. But amidst the challenges, we must never lose sight of the ultimate goal, a future where every child can grow up free from fear. The fight for a safer tomorrow begins today. Each step we take towards a more just and equitable society